Hello, y'all. I am back in my room, and it's staying like that, I think, for the next week until next weekend. I'm gonna be going to San Antonio. So, upend it all again and start over. And then, when April comes around, we're pretty much switching places every week because I'll be traveling around the world. So, we'll see how it goes. Today I don't want to really. It's not that I don't want to. I've been just in deep thought about writing my book and thinking of how people can believe to best grow themselves, others, and the world around them. And I believe if that takes three like tools or three pillars, that's kind of Kaizen, so learning for growth and development of yourself and others, love, and values. And I keep coming to this. A big part of the reason why I want to write this book is because I see people throughout my lives and the people who I have, writers who I've read, that have left an impression on me that no other human being has. Like, for example, today I read about a Polish husband named Pilecki, and he must have been the one of the most heroic and bravest and virtuous people I have ever read about. Essentially, what he did was he was a part of the Polish resistance to Germany and the Soviets during World War II and the Cold War. But what he did in World War II was the Polish resistance knew that the Auschwitz, the camp, concentration camp, they didn't know it was a concentration camp at the time. They just as knew it was a prison camp. So Pilecki, he he volunteered himself to go into Auschwitz, and when he was there, he got himself arrested. That's what happened. And then he got into Auschwitz, and when he found out about all the horrors that were happening and to these prison members and then the Jews that came afterwards, he tried to warn the outside world. But it doesn't stop at that either. Within the camps, he was almost a beacon of light, and I want to say hope. I want to say hope, but he was someone who was virtuous, who was wise in his dealings of espionage, of uh, giving people hope and love. He was loving to the victims and people who needed it, and he showed everyone around him that you could change your circumstances no matter where you're at. He really embodied the quote that Viktor Frankl talked about, was that the last of the human freedoms, the ability to choose your attitude in any given circumstance. That's what Pilecki did. He chose his attitude to be brave and virtuous and fight against the Nazis in any way he could, but wise, smartly, because he had his love for his country and countrymen and women, that he could do that. And so, of course, our like 3 years go by, and his his words on he had brilliant ways of getting the messages out. He would put them in like laundry as well, and then I don't even know how he got him out, but word got out to the Allied forces, even all the way to Washington, and they just didn't believe him. The things he was saying were so horrific that at the time and unprecedented in human history that they almost were unwilling to believe. But Pilecki kept going. And when he found that it, his time in the camps wouldn't get him any further and that the Allies wouldn't listen, he actually broke himself out. And he survived and he made it. And then afterwards, after World War II, when Nazi Germany was suppressed, the Soviets took over Poland and then exacted their regime on Poland. And you know what Pilecki did? Same thing he always did. Was brave, virtuous, wise, loving, and but resisted the Soviets so that Polish people could one day be free. And at the end of it, he actually got caught. And he's actually tortured for a year. But, and for a year, yet he still didn't tell them anything. But what he said, and I don't know when he said it, but he said that torture, that Auschwitz was something like a feather, to the terrors he found in torture. But he still didn't tell him anything. And then, before he was executed, he got his last words, and he said something like, "I have no regrets. I've lived a life so that whenever I die, I will be joyous." And like Mark Manson said, and everything is fucked. If that's not hardcore enough, I don't know what the fuck is happening. But I think for him, he exhibited all those feelings. And to Mark Manson and everything, the book is about hope and how hope is created. And he postulates 3 different things. So, I don't, spoiler, like, it's a philosophy book, like, it talks about ideas, alright? It talks about how you, hope is cultivated through understanding your control, and essentially that you have no control, you just have to regulate it, your values, and community. And yes, I think Pilecki exhibited that, but I think it goes deeper. I think he found purpose and meaning, and not just any purpose and meaning, but one that aligned with, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe what life had for him as his purpose. Maybe a purpose that was divinely virtuous. But something in that, yes, as for Mark Manson's argument, it's all true, but I feel like for my argument as well in the book on how to believe, even how to believe rightly, that's terrible a way of putting it. Maybe like divinely believe, I don't know, I'm still thinking about it, but I will just say virtuously right now. And that's the best word. Alright, to believe virtuously is that there's those 3 that he exhibited. The wise, as a lovingness for his country and his people, and also himself and his wife and his family, and also what he values, right? and that he got a lot from his faith, his Catholic faith, and the values he gleaned from his Catholic faith. And there wasn't, it's not a real point in this video, it's just things I've been thinking about that are still rummaging in my brain. And that, at least for Pilecki, he exhibits all three of those, and has gained almost like a divine purpose. And in gaining that divine purpose, he's almost messianic, in a sense. I mean, like I don't know about you guys, but when I hear, you got to read the whole story, look him up, read the Time magazine article on him, and at least for me afterwards, I was in awe. It would be the same feeling I'd get if I believed in Messiah and he was lecturing me or talking to me. It's that same feeling, and I think a lot of religious people would push back on that, but there's something grand in something that's revenge, like how do you say that word? Reverence, yeah, that word. All right, and there's other people or writers in history and other people just in life that I've observed and seen them maybe exhibit these three characteristics and have gone to the point of that divine purpose and messianic kind of awe. And I'm flawed, so please butcher me on these and tell me why I'm wrong. But some of them I'm thinking about. So of course, Pilecki, Marcus Aurelius, Jesus, Simone Weil. She was I forgot what nationality she was, but she was a prolific philosopher, and some of her stuff. Just one act. Let's put it like this: the last act she had before she died was giving away her. She died of starvation because she was giving away her food to other people so they could survive in the resistance, because she believed in their cause and also in her love for people around her. And that's hardcore. That I want to put in Sadhguru as a D. I can't spell it. SAD. I think HAGURU. Probably misspelled it. Him as well, but that's like, I haven't thought too much about that one, but it's just a feeling. So, but these people that just exhibit these virtues and excess of virtue and love and just wise, like wise through experience in life. So of like this love, wisdom, and virtue. Through their exhibiting of those qualities, give them this reverence to their character, even if they might not be divine or anything. There is a reverence there, unspoken respect that I think a lot of people would have for them. So yeah, that's really what I want to talk about. There's no real topic, just things I'm thinking about in my book. But I still appreciate y'all for listening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.